Welcome back to another episode of the Artist Access. Yes, I am here with one of my sister from Soul Poetry. I'm here with the lovely Madame Precedent. What your real name is, though? Let's give them your government, too, if you don't mind.
I go by Jayla Moore.
Jayla Moore.
Jayla Moore is my government name. Madam Precedent is what I go by on stage because I will be running for president 2044.
Okay. Yeah.
Vote for more.
Yeah.
However, I always set the tone and be the example. So that's why it's Precedent. Madam Precedent.
Yes, yes. And you serious about this president thing, right?
2044, vote for more.
Wow. So let's start right there. What made you really want to take such a big step like that and say you want to run for president?
Well,
of the country of the United States of America.
Yes, POTUS. Call me POTUS. Okay, so
yes.
When I was in undergrad, actually, I was involved in a lot of organizations. I was the president of a couple, and sometimes I didn't turn off my Madam President switch. So some of my friends will make fun of me, you know, like I might say something, they'd be like, okay, Madam President. And so when I was actually looking for a name, a stage name, a pen name, that just seemed very, very appropriate. And so as career, you know, I grew up, I changed careers, got involved into public admin, I worked for a couple nonprofits. I want to do policy work, you know, so I said, well, I'm always talking about what needs to happen, what, you know, what we need to do, how we should be working. I feel like I have good ideas. I love, you know, connecting humans, having conversations about these things. I can have these tough conversations, and I'm rarely ever really offended. And even if I am, I feel like I have the rapport with people. I build rapport with people so that we can, again, have those tough conversations. And that's what we need in the president.
Yes.
So I said, why don't I do it?
First black lady president, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, well, you got my vote. You already know you got my vote.
That's what we love. You know, 2044, vote for more. Every time I meet and talk to somebody, I say this is a stop on their campaign. Yeah. So I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for letting this be a stop on the 22-year campaign trail.
the pre-campaign went out.
So I appreciate you.
Yeah. I mean, I had the president on my show. You know what I'm talking about? So look, hey, KP, will you pass her wine? She left the wine over there. Like that. Look, this is part of the show. You know what I'm talking about?
You're right.
Did you leave it over there on purpose? You didn't want to bring it on camera?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I wouldn't say overly conscious, but a little conscious about that kind of stuff.
You said do it again. You know we live, KP. KP said do it again for the picture. Yeah. So look here. I want you to take me back to your poet writing. Now, how far back did you go with writing poetry and performing poetry?
Okay, so writing, I want to say like elementary school, I started writing. I have a lot of brothers, and my mama was like, you got to put your feelings somewhere. So I started journaling, and I remember getting a poem book and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to try that. So I started writing poetry, I would say in elementary, but never thought to perform a poem, ever. I used to watch Def Jam online. You know, I'm a little young, so they was only on YouTube. But I used to watch Def Jam poetry slams and things like that, but I just never thought I would do it. And then in college, I met a young lady in an organization, and they were like, hey, you should do your poetry. And I was like, why? Like, what do you mean? They're like, they need somebody at, you know, this intermission to do a poem at a pageant. And I was like, so? And they're like, but you write poetry. And I'm like, but I don't perform poetry. So I actually wrote
was that your scared of the stage talking at the moment, at the time?
It's just different. People don't, even poets now don't understand it's different. Writing a poem is completely different than performing a poem.
Most definitely.
Like, I literally wrote on flashcards. That's how, I was like, I'm gonna write this little poem down, keep some little notes, you know? Right. And when I went up there, I didn't look at the flashcards, didn't use it not once, and that was the day that I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna do this again, you know. So I, started the undergrad.
Was it the reaction from the audience receiving your work that made you be like, okay, I like this?
Originally, it was how I felt because I'm not even hearing the claps or the nothing right after. It's like I was proud of myself, so I can't get past me. You know what I mean? To even address or really break down with that people were clapping for me and things like that.
Right.
But then when people would talk to me after poems, like after I did a poem and stuff like that, people would come up or people would tell me that they was going through certain things or, you know, like, dang, they thought they was alone or they never thought about certain things. Like they might have been going through the same thing, but they just never thought about it the way that I thought about it and it helps them. Or, you know, that kind of stuff was like, that's life changing. Those are, people call that small stuff, but those are the small things that really like do change. It changed the world, like connections like that, because that's really what a bunch of those meaningful connections. That's what keep a person here. That's what keep a person right. You know, so that's all we really need to be doing for each other.
Right. And are you from Texas? Are you native?
No,
You're not from here?
No. I'm from St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis. Yeah. So my bad if you hear some R's, a little.
I just
heard
it. Nah,
yeah.
Look, I just heard it.
A little tough. That's why I thought you was asking. I was like, ooh,
No,
it's leaking.
no, I thought
okay. I've been here for a while though. Yeah, I've been here for a while, like 13 years.
Okay.
And you know, I spent, you know, half my time here, half my time there for a little while, but officially here for the last like 5-6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been here about 6 years now too. Okay.
Yeah.
When you first moved out here, what was the energy like when you first got out here? Like.
It's a culture shock. So in St. Louis, like I didn't have like white friends to go to their house after school. I knew Mean Girls and like Lizzie McGuire. I like knew it was just gonna be like that, interacting with people. So when I got to Texas, I moved into the energy corridor. It was people from like all over the world, people with like 6 bathrooms in their house for no reason and stuff like that. So I'm like, this is, you know, it was just crazy. But even some of those people I was meeting was like real down to earth. I moved down here with no family. My mom just was like, we finna go. So me and my youngest brother, we just upped and moved. So just really like diving into the culture and like having to develop some type of support system with people that didn't look like me, sound like me, talk like me, and still having to find like common ground and see that these are people too, because they feel me, they see me, you know, they try to help me, I try to help them, things like that. You build a relationship with people. So it was a culture shock. I definitely say it was like a lot of getting used to, but I loved it. Some stuff I was like, yo, this is straight out of a movie and I don't even understand. Right. Other stuff, it was like, I'm really glad that I did grow up where I grew up, and it was rough. And, you know, if you know anything about St. Louis, people go, you know, like, ooh, St. Louis. But I'm definitely glad that I had the experience I did as a child. I still value it while I'm here, you know, with opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm definitely built different than my peers, you know, and that gives you a leg up in life.
Right.
Yeah.
You're very creative.
Yes.
I see you got on your some of your work on your pants.
Yes. So yeah, my merch, I do custom merch.
Right.
I put people's art. I try to capture who they are as people, as artists, as creators, and just, you know, make merchandise for them. I just throw my little MP44 hand stitch signature on all of them, but you know, I try to design for the people, and that's you know.
We had the show a couple months ago. What it was called? Spitch
and Stitches.
Spitch and Stitches.
Yep.
And you designed everyone's a personal piece.
Yeah.
And you asked questions before you did to get an idea, and so. One of the questions you asked was what it was, like a famous quote or something that you say?
Quotes you live by.
And so I gave you one, and I'm so glad you put that on the jacket, because that to me, that I say that at the end of every show too. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm glad you decided to put that on the jacket.
Yeah.
You feel me? What made you decide to all the questions you asked? What made you decide to put that?
Well, okay, so definitely a spiritual person. So sometimes I don't have like very specific answers for things. I looked over what you sent me. That spoke to me personally. That's the thing that I feel like I connected with you on when you sent me everything you sent me back. And so that's something now I was like, like when I was reading it,
you own it now, and what I like about that is like, if you notice, it's the same letters. You know what I'm talking about? And so letters are like sacred geometry, right? And so, letters are symbols, and symbols, certain letters have a whole certain frequencies, right?
Okay.
So like certain, like the M, O, and W, and certain letters hold a powerful frequency, right?
Okay.
And so like I said, it says a lot. Like
Yeah.
once you own it, because it's true. Like once you can own the moment, the now,
now.
of everything,
Yeah.
and you, it's like that's when you really win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's yep.
I love it. I love it. You
That's
feel me?
very, that's very, very true. People are
Yeah.
not content. When I read it, I just felt like you got to empower yourself. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes.
you got to empower yourself,
Yes.
and no matter what
Yes.
situation you ever gonna be in, it's
Right.
about
Right.
it's about you. Even if
Right.
you seeking somebody else to help you empower yourself,
Right.
that's still a choice you got to make too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's what it
Right.
really said to me.
Right.
So that's
Right.
why I threw it on there. It was something that I feel like, okay, that I connect with this one too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad
That's
I'm
what's
glad
up.
you loved it.
Yeah. all of the pieces was fire. You feel me?
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate
So
that.
and you sew too? Could you even have
Yeah,
to do
so-
some work on the stuff, stitching and cutting up?
My mother actually is she's a designer. I grew up with her. Like she used to do her own shows, and then she did her annual show, St. Louis Runway, and then got invited to be on the committee for St. Louis Fashion Week. So when I was growing up, she was actually doing fashion shows. So it was cool to like kind of integrate that a bit in there. Of course, she taught me stuff. You know, when you're a creator, you're a creator. So I mean, you can paint. I can, at least in our household, we paint. I can't sing, but I will, you know. I write, I do all kind of stuff. And so expression and being able to create things is very, very important. So, of course, she had me working on stuff, sewing little stuff. So I picked those skills up, started doing that on my own things. And people would be like, oh my God, you're so Pinterest. I'm like, what does that even mean, And what they really was trying to say is that I find a way to put myself in how I wear my clothes, my hair, my makeup, my whatever, And so I was like, well, everybody should be doing that. Everybody should be doing that. And then the other thing is sustainability, right? So like, yes, I'm really running for president, and sustainability is super important. Like, it's super important. So I'm trying to teach people to recycle their clothing, and every piece that I made was a recycled piece. It's all thrifted, so sustainable wear, sustainable fashion. There's so many places you can actually go and just get some regular jeans. These jeans, no lie, was a penny. These, I believe, Carhartts. So like distress them. They distress them, paint on them, sew on them, put a bead on them, do whatever you're going to do to them, and just add just your little touch to it. It's super, super easy to do a lot of things, but the reward you feel when people just want to come up and have a conversation because you just, you got on some weird jeans. They like, what's on your jeans? You like a poem. They like, oh, you a poet. Now we talking. Now I made a connection. It's the little stuff. It's the small things.
I actually got to give you the jacket back that you made for me because I think you're going to put some crystals on it, right?
Yes.
That's going to take it to a whole other level right there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that's another thing. You can always keep adding. You can recycle your own stuff. Keep adding, keep changing. You don't want this on here no more. Take it off. Oop, put something else back on it. You know what I mean? Like, it could be so many different things. So I like it. I like doing that. It also is another thing that sets you apart when I'm trying to do merch and stuff. Everybody got t-shirt. Of course, you can buy my t-shirts too. I got hoodies, all of that.
Okay.
Stuff, merchandise like that. But the custom merch is really important because I'm teaching you something. I'm helping you learn something. I'm helping you build a community. Give back to your actual earth. Like, it's a lot of things that just by custom merch. By custom merch. You know what I mean?
And what can they reach you at if they want to get some custom merch and clothing and stuff like that?
Instagram is that's the platform I predominantly use to like contact people, stay in touch with everybody, get information about shows out. You can find me on Instagram at Madam Precedent. Don't forget the E on Madam. Precedent as in set the tone, be the example. But on there, just DM me. I respond, send you a little form that, ask some questions about you and stuff. And from there, I send you back a sketch of what the design will look like, a price, and then boom, I create it for you. You try it on. I give you a hug.
Yeah.
And then we got custom merch forever.
Yes. So look, man, y'all follow Jayla Moore. She is running for president in 2024. You know what I'm talking about? She already got my vote, so y'all vote for the sister. You want our first black president. I see it right now, and I got the eyes.
Black female president.
Black female president.
Black
I forgot the
female
female
president.
part. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? So, hey, you're going far. You're going to go far. You
I
feel me? I
appreciate
feel
that.
your passion. I feel it. You know what I'm talking about?
I appreciate that.
And
That's
so
what.
Just keep going. You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
what I do this for. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, Jayla is going to give us one of her awesome poems. So, y'all stay tuned. This is the Artist Access. And your access has now been granted.
Proud. People, my peers, it is with pleasure and pride the privilege has been placed upon me to pronounce us premium, to proclaim us as prime, perceived to be pointless pieces on this planet, but we paved it. Pushed past plain and plunged to poisonous predicaments, producing pinnacles, pyramids, peaks. We will persist and progress. We postulate the prophet of planted seeds because we were permitted by none other than God. My people possess power. We must be proud. P-R-O-U-D. Rather rash, raw, or reckless at times. Remember, unreasonable and unruly, rushing into resolution, ready for a road of riddles that is our reality. A ride replete with rhetorical reasoning of self, revolving doors, restless nights, and rude awakenings. Our rehearsals, rituals, recitals have rescued us from rivals. Redeem and reclaim your rights. Render yourselves rampant with righteousness as we are as rare as rubies and rich with rectitude. We have every reason to be proud. Proud. P-R-O-U-D. Outstanding. Outlasting. Owning the opportunity as it is ours. Only ours, ordering our own opulence, offered only ordinary but output extraordinary. The odds never in our favor, open doors occasional, objectives occluded with obstacles, but we knew it was obtainable. Our occult knowledge ordained from Christ, our being from olfactic to optic is orphic, the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent has chosen us. We must be proud, P-R-O-U-D, us. It was us that were unequipped with useful utensils, so we invented them. Unsuited but unstoppable, unfit but not unable, undermined but unexpectedly conquerors. Our umber skin united is unequivocally strong. We may always be unnamed, uncelebrated, and our utilities may be unknown, but in unison we will never be unheard or unnoticed. Uproariously and in unison utter good fortune over our futures. Use us, Lord, as ultimate vessels of your unnatural abilities, as we are unimportant without you, but urgent with you. Stable without you, but unencumbered with you. We are undeniably proud. P-R-O-U-D. Down in dark places, driven to delusion, but we dictate doom's defeat. We dance in domination of dog days, depart from discombobulations, disconnect from distractions, discard of demons. Diligent work needs to be done as we diverge into different dynamic directions, but your domain will keep you docked. Deem yourselves the deeds of any district you may claim. Don't doubt yourselves. Be dangerous. Dare to be distinctly disparate. Damn it. Be proud. P-R-O-U-D. 2044. Vote for more.